All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now the 21st of January, and seems like it's a little dark in here. I guess that's because maybe the back lights aren't on, so that's all right. So you'll excuse a little excessive contrast and darkness in the video. I'll just probably up here on the left-hand side here, I'll probably just put a window, a speech bubble, and say some other stuff. Yesterday I was attacked again, only this time by a private party, who said they were doing me a favor, and you know, it's like I left my jacket in the backseat of their car. I had to drive a long distance in order to retrieve the jacket, and then these people are very, very contradictory. They're just like Obama and everybody else. They're jerks. And they claim that they have so little money they can't even afford gas, and yet they drove at least $5 worth of gas, if not 10, just to go to display a fit of anger over something as innocent as leaving your jacket in somebody's car. I would think they would want to retrieve it to you, and if you don't have to drive and you don't spend money, you'd be happy that they came there and picked it up. So anyway, but that's not the whole story. I lost the storage. I am now in a bind. My friend's storage is also in a bind because the situations are, for a lack of a better explanation, piggybacked. So this person, who's probably bipolar, and I won't even mention their name because I don't burn bridges, I vaporize them. Understand that? Like all my videos have said, people who have violated my trust, I erase them from my mind forever. If I could erase without having, because of the people that are in the media, these are unknown people I'm talking about, but because of the people that are known in the media, like the alleged president right now, and the other alleged president, and the one before that, it doesn't matter how many administrations you go back, they're all Bilderberg prostitute puppets. And they've got strings attached to them, and there's no common ground between me and the police and judges and lawyers or any of that stuff. You have a screwed up world, and I keep repeating that because I don't have anything better to do. You people took it all away from me. You took my cars, my boats, my motorhomes. You took everything from me. The city of Los Angeles is one of the most evil cities in the United States. They treat homeless people like crap. They dictate to them. They tell them, you can't do it, or add your request. If a homeless person has a request to be helped in a certain way, well, you can't request anything. You're coming to us for help, meaning the city of Los Angeles, or the county of Los Angeles, or the state of California, and therefore you have to follow our guidelines. It's like being a little kid, and you don't clean your room, or you're upset at your parents as a teenager, and their parents, both of them or one of them, says, you're under my roof and you do as I say, so long as you live under my roof. Well, what? Because I live in Los Angeles, I have to abide by unfair, unreasonable, civil rights abusing rules and regulations that circumvent our civil rights? This is exactly the kind of country you have. And the poorest people are the ones that get attacked the most because they don't have any defense. They don't have $300 an hour to play a blood-sucking, crappy attorney to defend their civil rights. And the majority of alleged violations of civil rights, whoever it may be, they come in varying degrees. The most worst civil rights, obviously, is murder, okay? And then it lessens in degrees after that. Murder, if you want to call that a civil rights violation, homicide, murder, that's the most extreme, and it has no statute of limitations. But tinier civil rights violations, those have statute of limitations. You have to file an administrative claim with a city or county before you can sue. It doesn't matter who you're suing, whether it's a fire department, police department, any agency in the city, any city employees, you can't sue them directly. You can actually, but I mean if you claim that in the process of their performing their duties as an employee for a city, county, or state, or even federal agency, you have to sue, you have to put an administrative claim, and you have to sue the people they worked for. If you want to sue them privately, you can also sue them privately in a separate court, which becomes a separate civil issue. It's like when they went after O.J. Simpson. They couldn't get him on the criminal charge of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman, so they went after him. They separated the punitive damages and went after him separately for the punitive damages. So the legal system needs to be overhauled. The federal government needs to be overhauled. The state governments, everything needs to be overhauled. It needed to be overhauled back during the Reagan era. I'm going to give you something. Do you know that in 1964, they had a planned, and I know I'm jumping off the subject here, because I'm always talking about me and the pain and agony and the things that I'm forced to have to do in order to try to salvage whatever's left of my life, whatever I worked for the last 30 years. And they're still attacking me. Nobody on YouTube has sent me an email and said, "Hey, buddy, I'm really sorry. This is wrong." Nobody has sent me something saying, quote unquote, "I'm an American citizen. I'm very well off, and I really love the United States. But this is wrong. What's been done to you. I have a lot of money. I'm willing to pay to let you leave this country with whatever you have left of your possessions," which would never be enough because all the most important possessions have already been taken from me. But if that were to happen, nope. In 3 years, no one has done that. More than 3 years since my house was burnt. And before that, they were attacking me too. And the federal government, I'm a hot potato. You'll never see me on network news, ABC, CBS, ABC, because I attack them all. They're all filthy liars. They're jerks, morons, idiots. And they're reading from a script anyway. They're employees. They have to do what they're told. And of course, they love their little house or their apartment or their condo or their townhouse or whatever situation they live in. They love the way they're living, so they don't want to rock their own boat. So they do as they're told by the CEOs of the media, which all go to Bilderberg meetings every year. Oh, it's a big conspiracy, trust me. My previous video yesterday tells it. All right, so get back to, in 1964 they wanted to make a lockless canal through Panama. Do you know why there was so much fighting during the Iran-Contra thing? And before that, with the Somoza thing and all the rebels and the innocent people thousands of people that got killed? It was truly over the fact that the government was proposing a lockless canal. They were going to put pretty much Panama out of business. Their locks were going to be out of business. And they were going to use really heavy-duty, low-yield radioactive explosions, neutron bombs kind of. That was one of the plans. That's not the only plan. There was one of them. And they proposed 3 different areas in Central America where they were going to make a lockless canal where the super tankers could go through without having to go through the locks, because super tankers are too big. They can't make it through the canal. Now you're hearing this from the mouth of a guy who should be a multi-billionaire, if not a zillionaire, because of my invention of the spherical oil tanker that would have nipped in the bud and guaranteed no oil spills from 1979 to now. Then you had the Exxon Valdez oil spill and all this other stuff. But that's what the fighting was really all about. It was who was going to have control of the country when and if, and it never happened, of course, when and if this new idea was going to go through one of those 3 sections of Panama. Go check it out if you don't believe me. Now, there's always intrigue. There's always conspiracies with the government. There's always. It's never going to end until the people, like my past videos say, take your money out of the banks, stop buying gasoline, at least for a month. Show the government that you really mean business. Oh, I can hear the answers right now from millions and millions of families. Oh, I can't do that. That would jeopardize my family. That would jeopardize. Well, you're already being jeopardized. They're already talking about shortages in the future and brownouts. And this green energy, that's not going to go away. Count how many cars there are in the United States that still run on gasoline. There's no way they're ever going to eradicate that. It's going to take at least another 100 years before you get rid of every vehicle that uses natural petroleum. And the oil companies know this. Don't let them lie to you and tell you that, oh, it's possible to shift over to this green thing, hybrid cars and all that. It isn't. So, bottom line, people like me who are geniuses and have these fantastic inventions, Like the one that would have stopped all the massacres that have happened, all the shooting massacres. I had a talk this morning with John, a good friend of mine. He's homeless. We talked this morning about, at Burger King, how crazy it is. You can't sleep in your car in a private parking lot or on the street, or they'll tow your car away. That's illegal. Who made that law up? That violates civil rights right off the bat. Who cares whether a person sleeps in a car or not? Are you people nuts? Who are the cops working for? The mortgage companies? The same mortgage companies that caused all of this, the negative loans, that caused all this foreclosure epidemic? Because that's what it is, a foreclosure epidemic. So he sleeps outside of his car, and she sleeps inside the car. I mean, it doesn't matter what their habits are. They're not causing any trouble to anybody, but here they come. We're going to do this, we're going to do that to you. They're nuts, cuckoo, locals. And no one wants to do anything about it. That's sad. That's really sad. But the saddest part is that we can do something about it. If the news media had enough guts, and those CEOs wanted to go against what the Bilderbergs and the rich people's interests are doing, and the CEOs would go, if I told the CEOs, your family is going to feel the effects of starvation if you do not do something about this now, and start putting your support as far as nationwide publicity behind people like me. Because remember what I said when I was running for president? I said that the screen went dark on me for a minute. I said that only a person who has suffered the stuff that I've gone through knows where all the problems are. Therefore, those are the people who should be qualified to run for office. Now, I challenged Romney and Obama and all the other candidates to debate me on YouTube or wherever, on radio, YouTube, or on the national news circuit, if they had enough guts and courage to do that. And I told Obama and Romney in my other videos, I'll wipe the stage with you. You won't be able to recover when I'm done with you. In any debate, because I know too much history. Past administrations, they're all in my head. I know exactly where all your mistakes are, and I don't have to dig into your super top secret files, quote unquote. They got secret stuff you're not supposed to know. I know all of it. I don't have to talk about it. I can use it as an example. But that's not the point. The point is that the troubles are so big, no one wants to pay attention to it. No one wants to put effort into stopping all of this. Instead, private parties that are at each other's throats, governments are causing interferences in people's lives. I can go on and on talking about it. So, to get back to my problem, the U-Haul truck is full. I now, because of the sabotage that took place last night, I now have no place to empty the truck, and I can't empty my friend's storage, who now has to pay, because it's past the due date, has to pay $11 a day, or I have to pay $11 a day until I empty it. And then I have until the end of the month, which is about 9 days, to empty my storages. And the idea was for me to be able to move to another storage, or a garage, or somebody who's nice enough to contact me and say, you know, this is wrong. No one should have to lose their possessions because of some fanatical, hung-up, hooked-up attitude. Fanatical enforcement of wrongful laws that violate a person's civil rights, the right to privacy, and a whole hell of a lot of other charges that I would make against the United States of America and every state of the Union, especially California. I'm now charging California, the state, and counties and cities of violating homeless people's civil rights by color of law, by using a law to literally ruin and keep the person homeless. This is something that should have been taken care of a long time ago, but it's not going to be. My troubles aren't going to end right now. They're going to continue with, where am I going to go tonight? I have no idea. It's Martin Luther King Day. I don't know whether other places are open or not today. I don't know where I'm going to move everything to. The time clock for how many things I have to move has been screwed over. I had it all planned out. I was supposed to move the stuff last night, have an empty truck, go back up, empty my friend's storage, go back down to the new storage, put that in there, then go up to my storages conveniently over the next 10 days or 9 days at my leisure and move the rest of it. But that's not how it's going to turn out now. Matter of fact, the person threw some money at my feet because they were having a fit. And then they had the gall to ask me for the money back. I said, well, hey, the storage is in your name. Here's the paperwork. Goodbye. Yeah, I may end up with my stuff in the street and have to have another altercation with a lousy, crappy LAPD. There wasn't enough that they were indirectly involved with building the safety at burning my house, that exposed my house to being burnt, along with the fire department. It wasn't enough that 3 years ago I've been having these videos for 3 years. A lot of you people who watch my videos, you know what's happened. Not one of you have lifted a finger to stop this insulting things, to stop this destructive behavior that's been practiced on me for more than 3 years. And it's still going on. I'm not being affected by them anymore. I haven't had any altercations with them only because they've already done their damage. Now other people are doing damages because the damages they did to me forced me to have to go into storage units. And I don't want to be in storage units because you live under a threatening thumb constantly. If you don't pay on time and anything bad happens, they'll take your code out of the machine. You won't even have access to your stuff. They already did that with 2 storage containers that came from the burnt house. They already did that with tons of cars. All my possession, all my plans, everything to move everything to Colorado has been destroyed. I've already dealt with those issues. I've talked about this to all of you. And out of all of the 29, yesterday's views has had up to 29 views. 29 people in the United States or in the world saw my video. So what? They don't give a damn. They don't give a hell whether I live or die. No one's offering to help me, but you'll offer and send donations to the children of Sandy Hook. You'll offer donations to the children and the people in Aurora Theater. You'll send donations to all these other people because their damages were worse. Well, to me, I don't think their damages are worse. I think it's worse to be tortured like I've been tortured for years and leaving me alive to have to deal with the aftermath, to have to deal with the scars of the memories of what you people have taken from me. When I say you people, I mean every American citizen that pays taxes. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, I don't care what, Utah, I don't care what state you're from, New York, Washington, D.C. Anybody paying taxes to this crappy country is either an idiot or you're a prostitute. And that's exactly what you are. All of you. Every man, woman, and child. If the children are living at home with those adults that are paying taxes, then they're all prostitutes. Why? Because you've already sold your soul to the government. You don't care. As long as your place is not attacked. So long as you are not attacked, you're fine. That's not right. And you know what? It'll catch up with all of you. I was going to address a situation, and I'll do it for 30 seconds. I've made reference to the 99th monkey philosophy, that the only reason that message of washing the fruit in that research thing during this thing called the 99th monkey philosophy, it was a test that was done in the Sea of Japan, and you can Google it to find out what it's about. But those messages traveled by quantum method at the quantum level in order for that research to have manifested the way it did. And let me tell you something about hate. When enough people hate and are disgusted, that transfers through the air too and creates a lot of the hateful things that happen, whether it's Aurora shooting, Sandy Hook shooting, any massive shooting that takes place, that's created. I'll deal with more of this in the next thing when I do part 2. I have to, probably, because there's not enough time.